Good Friday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett here in the King 5 newsroom, and we are going into the first weekend of spring, but it is the first weekend of spring in the Pacific Northwest, and kind of a classic battle setting up of a winter that doesn't want to leave and a spring that wants to move in, and that's going to come to a head on Sunday. In fact, we're actually calling a first alert for that. I'll give you the details on that in a moment. In the meantime, we are tracking some steady rain that's making its way over top of the Seattle Metro on this Friday evening. Gave us kind of a wet commute tonight. What it did is also cooled temperatures. So once again, temperatures about 3 degrees below average. 55 is the norm for this time of year. We kind of balance that out by being 3 degrees above average in the overnights. 44 courtesy of all that cloud cover out there. 69 is the record for today's date on the warm side, 29 on the cool side. And yes, we picked up some rain in the gauges. The sunset at 7:24, kind of a muted affair, but there will be some opportunities to see some sun next week. In the meantime, steady mountain snow, rainy and breezy into Saturday morning. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. And then heavier, warmer rain raises flood and avalanche danger on Sunday. Now, nothing major as far as the flood concerns go. The avalanche danger, I am very concerned. I'll tell you why coming up in a moment here. Brief warm up next week could put us in record territory on Tuesday, as some of us may flirt with the 70-degree mark, but then once again it will cool down next week as we go towards the Mariners home opener, which is on Thursday. So take a look at your 7-day forecast. Temperatures staying below average both Saturday and Sunday, and then warming as an atmospheric river kind of brushes by the region here. Puts us in the upper 50s on Monday, and then there it is, that warmth Tuesday and Wednesday before things cool down and kind of go back to normal again Thursday into Friday. So the details with the first alert are such. Sunday till some 6 a.m. until about midnight, I expect that mountain snow to switch over to rain. So it's going to rain on snow approximately, I'd say about 5,000 vertical feet. We'll take a look at that with the graph in a moment. So river flooding doesn't look like it's going to be a major concern, but again, avalanches could be. All area rivers will need to be just monitored. For sure, we know the Skokomish and Potlatch will probably reach flood stage on Sunday, possibly into Monday. And then as far as the mountain passes go, and especially the backcountry, it's going to become dangerous in the backcountry, especially Sunday into Monday. Here's live camera from Alpental, where I was earlier today, and I skied on some Cascade concrete with a few of my friends. Temperatures stayed right around the freezing mark, so we kind of got rained/snowed on there. It looks like it has switched back over to snow, and will continue to stay as snow overnight tonight. Now, setting up our story here, we've seen a lot of snow in the mountains this week. It's been really good for building snowpack. Baker's picked up over 2 feet of snow in the last 48 hours, and then Stevens, Snoqualmie, and Crystal right around the 1 foot mark, and that's on top of what we received earlier this week. We do have watches and warnings in place. The National Weather Service has actually changed the zones now to make it a little bit more easy to understand. So basically everything from Stevens northward is under a winter storm warning that you see in that fuchsia color there. Everything from Snoqualmie Pass southward, including White Pass, will be under a winter weather advisory, and we could pick up anywhere from about another 4 to 14 inches up towards the north, especially Baker, and then about 4 to 10 inches down towards the south, especially White Pass. So this is current radar as of Friday evening. We're coming up on 8 p.m. here, and again, rain starting to taper across the metro areas. Another band looks like it'll move across Puget Sound in about another hour or so. And again, snow right around the 2,500, 3,000 foot level will keep things active overnight tonight. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. This system pushes through. We get a little bit of a break on Saturday, and then on Sunday, we briefly tap into an atmospheric river. Now, if we fast forward that a little bit, looks like our friends in British Columbia are going to take that one on the head on Tuesday. So this isn't going to be a prolonged or major rain event for us, but again, rain on snow is never a good thing. Once that ridge breaks down a little bit, we've got that next system moving through, and again, as it stands right now, it could be a rainy and cool home opener for the Mariners on Thursday. We'll fine-tune that as it gets closer. So snow levels, again, they were down low around 3,000 feet on Friday. They dip a little bit overnight Friday into Saturday. Should be a phenomenal day for skiing and snowboarding in the mountains on Saturday, but then it changes abruptly when things bounce up to that 7,500 foot level and stay there both Sunday into Monday, and that's when it will be raining. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday, we expect things to cut off a little bit, so those will be freezing levels, not really snow levels, and so it should be irrelevant. And then Thursday into Friday, it will dip back down again as that new system moves in. I tell you all that to tell you this. Overnight tonight, we'll see more accumulating snow. Stevens looks like it's going to see some convergence. It could drive about another foot up there. White Pass looks like it's going to be the place to be tomorrow as well. Snoqualmie, again, is kind of sitting around the freezing level, so not expecting much in the way of accumulating snow, but it will be slushy up at the Snoqualmie Pass. So we put things into motion here. Again, we'll see that snow continue in the mountains. We see a little bit of convergence that sets up overnight into Saturday morning. Then that starts to shift up towards Skagit, and to a certain extent Whatcom County as well. And then things go quiet Saturday afternoon and into the evening. Around 9 p.m., new system pushes in along the coast, and that's going to bring that rain that will then become fairly steady into Sunday morning. Now this is 5 a.m. and again, snow levels kind of riding around that 3,000–4,000 foot level. But as we go through the day, look at that. What was lavender now just becomes greens and yellows. So again, it's going to rain steadily on about 5,000 vertical feet of snow there. Now, we're not expecting it to be a prolonged event. If it was, then we'd be really concerned about river flooding. But as it stands right now, a few of them could swell up. And again, as I mentioned, the Skokomish and Potlatch always floods during an event like this. So for sure, we know that one will get to flood stage. But otherwise, it doesn't look like it's going to be a major event. With that said, though, it could be treacherous anywhere near creeks and streams and some of the rivers themselves, especially up towards Whatcom County there, where we could see the rivers up there getting a little swollen, especially on Monday morning as it rains on snow there. Now things will move through fairly quickly and dry out on Tuesday, as we saw earlier. The wind will also be an issue. Now it's going to get breezy Friday night into Saturday, nothing that we expect to be too heavy duty. It calms down a little bit on Saturday, but then as that new system pushes in Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to see those winds start to pick up again. Could get gusty in the mountains, possibly up to about 40 miles an hour as that snow is converting over to rain. So again, it's going to be rough in the mountain passes Saturday night into Sunday, and then as we go through the day on Sunday, it will remain breezy. Overnight low temperatures will be in the 40s for most of us. Seattle looks like it'll touch down in the upper 30s, and even temperatures in the mountains don't look like they're going to be that cold. They'll stay slightly below the freezing mark. High temperatures on Saturday, again, low 50s, not bad. In fact, 52 will be a very popular number in several communities. Port Townsend, Everett, and Mount Vernon will get in on the 51s along with Friday Harbor, and out towards the coast, we'll see 50s on the nose. 7-day forecast shows us staying cool and wet for this first weekend of spring, but take heart. Tuesday looks like it's going to be a phenomenal day out there, and again, some of us could touch down in the upper 70s, but it will be fairly short-lived as that new system pushes in Thursday into Friday. It looks like it could bring in more rain and possibly make things a bit on the damp side, make them close the roof for the first day of Mariners season, which will be on Thursday. There it is. It's your forecast in a nutshell. Saturday's going to be the good day to get out and do stuff. Sunday's going to be the indoor rainy day. And again, we're going to keep a close eye on those rivers and that potential for avalanches. I can't say it enough. Stay out of the backcountry. Snowmobiling, snowboarding, skiing, hiking, anything on Sunday into Monday. It could be very dangerous out there. There's a lot of new snow. It's going to get rained on. It becomes heavy, and that's when it falls. Otherwise, get out there and enjoy the weekend. We're right on the cusp of it. I'm King 5 Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett. Stay warm, stay dry, and have a fantastic weekend.